Hola, hoy vamos a hablar acerca de cómo se forman las comparaciones en español. Muy bien, para empezar, tenemos que hacer la pregunta, ¿qué es una comparación? En inglés es comparison. Now take a moment and try to think about what a comparison is in English and what we do when we're comparing. Okay, what did you come up with? I have the following, that we're identifying a difference between two nouns or two things. Entonces, algunos ejemplos. This book is bigger than that book. So we are comparing this book and that book, and the difference is that one is bigger than the other. Next one. The rabbit runs faster than the turtle. In this case, we're comparing the rabbit and the turtle, and the difference between them is that the rabbit runs faster. Next one, and one that is dear to my heart. Real Madrid is better than Barça. So here we're comparing two Spanish soccer teams, Real Madrid and Barça. And in this case, it's just obvious that Real Madrid is better. Next one. Jorge has more books than Jaime. So again, we're comparing two things. And in this case, Jorge, there's not really anything different between Jorge and Jaime other than Jorge has more stuff. Bien. Entonces, en inglés, we're really just doing this. Something is. Sometimes it's something does something. So, for example, going back to the rabbit and the turtle, we said the rabbit runs faster. So in that case, it would be the verb as opposed to is. But the idea is something is either adjective or adverb than something else. So what does that look like in Spanish? Again, we have something is adjective, adverb, that's the comparison right there, than something else. In Spanish, it looks like this. So we've taken out the something is and something else and focused on the adjective, and than. So in English, when we add to an adjective or an adverb. In Spanish, we're either going to use más o menos, and then we're going to use the adjective, and then for than, we're going to use que. Now, if we have an adverb, it will be the same structure. Más o menos, adverbio, que. So let's practice with this structure. ¿Cómo formamos una comparación? Using más o menos adjetivo que. So, we will do the first one together, and then I'd like you to pause and do the other three by yourself. So a normal statue is smaller than a moai, which is one of these guys over here on Easter Island. So, first of all, a normal statue is going to be una estatua normal. Now we've got is, so that's just going to be ser, because we're not talking about where someone is or how they're feeling, which is when we use estar. Smaller than. So here's our and in this case, the adjective is small. So our final version is going to be una estatua normal es más pequeña que un moai. Bien. Okay, go ahead and work your way through the last three. Pause the video and then check your answers. Okay. Concepción is less big than Santiago de Chile, which, by the way, is the capital of Chile. Concepción es menos grande que, so less big than Santiago de Chile. In Chile, Spanish is more common than Mapuche, which is the other official language. En Chile, el español es más común que el Mapuche. And then here we have two of the two famous Chilean poets, Pablo Neruda and Gabriela Mistral. And Pablo Neruda was older. Now, since we're describing in the past, which form of was are we going to use? If you picked the imperfect, you chose correctly. Pablo Neruda era más viejo que Gabriela Mistral cuando murió. All right, let's practice with this structure. It's not very different at all from the first one. The rabbit runs faster than the turtle. So if you remember vocabulary for animals, rabbit is el conejo and turtle is la tortuga. So go ahead and pause the video, work your way through this one, and then hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Muy bien. El conejo corre más rápido que la tortuga. Okay, so here's our verb, corre, faster, más rápido, than is que la tortuga. All right, again, pause the video, complete Jorge and Silvia, and then press play to check your responses. Muy bien. Jorge yells more noisily than Juan. Hopefully you remember that yell is gritar, and that noisily is ruidosamente. So we're going to have Jorge grita más ruidosamente que Juan. And then, so we can practice using menos, Silvia se ríe menos frecuentemente que Amparo. So we get to practice with reírse, which has a funky conjugation. And we also get to practice with frecuentemente, which has CUE, which is different from the English QUE. One very, very important detail when we're constructing these sentences. Más bueno does not exist. And instead, we use mejor. Likewise, más malo does not exist. And so we use, can you guess? Peor. In addition to mejor and peor, we also have mayor y menor, which mean older and younger. Bien. Entonces, practica con esta estructura. So here you're going to practice with mejor, peor, mayor y menor. The only difference here is that we don't have más o menos. We just go right to mejor, o peor, o menor, o mayor. So, Neruda was older than Gabriela Mistral when he died. So, Neruda era mayor que Gabriela Mistral cuando murió. Okay, so here you can see there is no más o menos. We just use this adjective, and then we use que. Go ahead, pause the video, complete these exercises, and then press play to check your responses. Listo? Shakira dances better than I do. Shakira baila mejor que yo. We are younger than Isabel Allende. Isabel Allende is a famous novelist and writer from Chile. Somos menores que Isabel Allende. Gonzalo cooks worse than Milos. Gonzalo cocina peor que Milos. So hopefully those two structures make sense to you. And by two structures, I'm referring to the más menos, either adjective or adverb, and then the mejor peor que o mayor menor que. And here we have one last slide to practice with. So go ahead and pause the video, work your way through, and then hit play to check your responses. Muy bien. They work less hard than we do. ¿Trabajan menos duro que nosotros? En general, Emilia es más contenta que Juan. I have more stuffed animals. Tengo más animales de peluche que tú. We go to bed later than y'all. Nos acostamos más tarde que vosotros. They are younger than Mrs. Montes. Son menores que la señora Montes. And you eat more apples than Manolo. Comes más manzanas que Manolo. And that's it. I hope that this was helpful. Adiós.